today we're at Saracen brand ambassador Amy Woodhead's yard, and she's going to give us a tour around. So start by telling us a little bit about Amy Woodhead. So have you always been based here?
Yep, so I was born and bred here. We have owned this establishment now for about 80 years. It was originally bought for my grandma and her 3 sisters, and they set up a riding school, and for many, many years it was a riding school, and my sister and I, after school, got shipped away to learn the trade, basically. And after doing 4 fabulous years at Carl Hester's, 7 years ago, I decided to move home. And
why would you want to be here? Because it's beautiful. So I think we're going to start the tour in this old part of the...
so this is the old coach house that used to be part of the Great Hall. So we've got all the original tiles, and this coach house is obviously where the... what are those things called?
The wagons
come in and out. That's it.
Yeah. And it's 1865 up on the building, so it's a very
very old building.
Super. Right, so we'll just go and have a tour around.
Yeah.
So Amy, who's our first horse that we're looking at down here?
So this is the first horse I'm going to show you, and this is MSJ Florenza, and I think she's pretty important because last year I did have a baby at the end of the year in September the 30th, and so I had a bit of time out competing, and this year was, well, yesterday was the first time I'd competed in a while, and so I decided to take Faye out to the regionals, and we won medium gold.
Fantastic.
So I think she's really important because she got me back in the arena and was such a good girl.
And she's unbelievably pretty, isn't she,
Yeah,
with a sash on there.
Very She's
proud.
So beautiful.
So what do you tend to feed yours on?
So there's quite a lot of horses on the yard, and they range from anywhere between 3 to my stallion's 26 years old, and I always said to Sarah when I started with Saracen, I really don't want to complicate it for the girls because I don't want to pay a member of staff to do, feeds all day if we were going to feed lots of different things, and I really feel that they get the nutrients and everything that they need from either the super fibre cube or the conditioning cube, whether we add a little bit of balancer or whether we add Equijule, we just try and work it as and when we need. If there's anything else that we do need, we obviously get in touch with Sarah for a specialist case, but I do find that the young horses are really good on the super fibre cubes. They don't overheat them, they gain weight nicely, and then anything that's in a big competition regime, more so in the summer, because in the winter we tend to try and knock them down a little bit to more super fibre, but in the summer definitely more conditioning just to try and help keep them looking fit and healthy and their muscles nice.
Definitely, and we'll see how good these horses look as well, obviously, when we go around the stables looking at them. But yeah, I think the super fibre cubes and the conditioning cubes do a fantastic job. And like you say, it keeps it simple.
Keeps it simple. It's easy for the girls.
Yeah.
We're not going to get all confused, and I actually just think it works really well anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why we need to start changing them. The horses have quite a simplistic diet.
And one of the things I always love what you say, and you said it to me early when I said, does anybody need more energy? And you said, I'll put more leg on if I need more energy.
Sarah, if they need more energy, I'll just put a little bit more leg on. And I really don't want, what I don't want, especially in the winter, is, yes, there's some horses that possibly do need more energy, but at the same time, if we're then feeding them a lot of energy and they're not getting out, or we've got a rainy day, or it's snowing, or there's times when we can't get them out as much as they need, I really don't want to be that person to be feeding them and not letting them have the release that they need. So definitely. I would rather definitely that they're getting what they need, but at a simplistic way. So, and then, I can then incorporate into their work what they need more.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is Flo, and there's Tommy down there. So these are yard cats, and they are 20 years old now, and they are strongly fed on either Equijule, balancer, super fibre cubes, conditioning cubes, whatever's in the feed room that they can get their mouths around. So I would strongly suggest that they look fabulous, nice shine, still going very strong.
So we're now at the outside stables. So we've got the horse lights on because we're just starting to get dark now, and Amy's going to talk to us about Jill's.
So this is Mount St John Jazz Dance. She joined the Mount St John team about 1.5 years ago now, and she's an 8-year-old working at small tour level. I was very successful on her the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. She's won quite a few Premier Leagues, and she was regional champion last winter for medium and advanced medium. And then again, I've been a little bit off the road, so my sister's actually taken the ride on her lately, Holly Woodhead. So she's done a couple of shows on her now and been very successful the last time out with 75%. So she has her regionals coming up in 2 weeks. So this is Jules. Okay, so I can't not show him because he is why I am where I am today. This is my old stallion Padon. He's now 26 years old, and every year I think it's end game for him, but every year he keeps staying very strong. He's fed on super fibre cubes and looks absolutely amazing. And yeah, I owe my career to this one.
He really looks incredible for his age. I remember the first time I met you, which was probably about 15 years ago, when you'd only just come back from Germany with him, and he was strapping and bouncing around the yard.
And he still is. I'm still nervous to lead him out of the stable.
Yeah.
As Sarah can remember last time, he's still led out in a chain, and he still gives everyone a lot of hassle.
He does.
But he's very happy, and he's in his retirement, so he hacks out every day across the road with the girls, or he goes down in the school and does a little bit of a stretch, or his favourite thing is to be walked down in hand down the track, which he sniffs the whole way in hand, and then the minute he hits the sand he rolls, and he has like 15 minutes rolling.
So lovely.
Yes, you're a good boy.
He's a super old boy.
Yeah. Okay, so we've now moved into the main barn, which we refer to as the big barn. It's full of 9 competition horses, a tack room and a wash bay, and it's got a variety of different horses. This being Lady Gaga, who's ridden by Jessie McConkey, and she did a personal best last year at the Europeans and was 4th, so this year we'll definitely be aiming for a medal.
Fantastic.
Okay, so this is MSJ Gold Standard. I have ridden her since she was a 4-year-old. She's been very successful. She went to the 4-year-olds and gained a lot of experience there, where she was 8th. And then as a 5-year-old, she went on to be reserve national champion, and then same again as a 6-year-old. So she is fabulous. She's starting to work towards a little bit more of the advanced work. So we've started the changes and a little bit of the piaffe and passage. She is currently being ridden by my sister in competition, as Holly has her regionals on her in 2 weeks. So she's based with us, but my sister comes like once or twice a week possibly to ride the ones that she will be competing, and we find that works really, really well, along with now and again Holly sneaking a little jumping on them. She is just about to gear up tomorrow to go and do the Ingrid Klimke demo, and there she has to do the and poles. So I'm sure she's extremely excited. Okay, so this is MVL Esquadra. She is a Portuguese horse, and she has been my Grand Prix horse now for, I think we've had her like 4 years. I campaigned her at Grand Prix, I think 3 years ago now, and we went to Liverpool Horse Show and had a fabulous time in a freestyle. And lately, currently, she has been ridden by my rider Jenny Martell, and they're gearing up to do their first Grand Prix together. So it's really lovely that I've managed to do Grand Prix on her, and now she's starting to teach the other girls on the yard all the tricks of how she wants to do it, not how they should do it, because Fifi just does whatever she likes all the time. She rules the roost in the whole yard.
And she has the most incredible ears, I always think.
She does. She has the most incredible ears, and she does do what she likes. Sometimes I open the stable door and she'll wander off to the grass herself, and she'll tell everyone when she wants feeding and when she wants treats. So she's definitely, she is definitely the boss of the yard. We do have a stallion that lives in here that is Jenny's currently on at the minute, but he lives at the bottom of the barn, and he does have to walk past 4 mares before he makes it out of the barn. She's definitely the worst one, so I do think he is pretty scared. But yeah, so this stable named Fifi, who's the boss of the yard for the women and the boss of the yard for the men, would be my old stallion Padon. So very strong characters.
Gorgeous.
Go.
This is Jess McConkey, who works here at Amy Woodhead Dressage. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Jess.
So I am Amy's second rider. I am a young rider and I'm here with my 2 horses, Wilson, who was reserved for the Europeans, direct reserve for the Europeans to my other horse Lady Gaga, who came 4th.
Well done.
Thank you. And I'm here to ride but also learn about like business and how Amy runs the yard before I eventually set up on my own.
Fantastic. And who is this then? Who's this beautiful boy?
So this is Wilson. He was direct reserve to Lady Gaga last year. He's working at like PSG, playing with a few of the higher level work as well. And hopefully I can campaign him for the Europeans this year. He's already been long listed, so it's a good start.
Brilliant. So we're going to see him do a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Going to show us what he can do. So this is Jenny Martell. Jenny works for Amy here as head rider. So how long have you been working for Amy?
I've been here 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must love it.
I do. Absolutely. Oh, it's the best job. Definitely.
Definitely. And what's your plans for this year?
So I'm going to be doing the young horse classes again, but this is one of Amy and mine 4-year-old, just
Beautiful.
turned. So I'll be taking him out, and then we've got quite a few other youngsters, and hopefully I'll be able to do my first international on Integro the stallion.
Oh, fantastic. He's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Really nice. So today you're just going to work him like you would in your usual...
Yeah, just with the babies we just work with walk, trot, canter, just all the basics basically.
Brilliant. Okay, so Amy, tell us who this one is and what we're doing with her.
Okay, so this is MSJ Secret Lady. She is a 5-year-old, born and bred at the Mount St John's stud of Emma Blundell's, and I actually rode her last year as a 4-year-old to qualify her for the semi-finals, but at that time I was 4 months pregnant, so it was my last time I did a young horse class. She was then taken on the ride of Holly Bates rode her through to the finals, and she's had a lovely holiday, and now she's just come back in to start her 5-year-old campaign. If there was ever a young horse canter that you wanted to sit to, it's this one.
How's she feeling today?
Pardon?
How's she feeling?
She's gorgeous.
She looks it.
She's so fun and comfy.
So is this the sort of work you would normally do with her when you bring her out?
She's worked like 5 times a week, getting ready for the young horse campaign now. And we're working towards like elementary level for the 5-year-olds. She's also a pro at poles.
I can see.
We really love to incorporate the poles into our work with the babies, because obviously when they're young they don't know any different, but when you're asking them to go more forward, we want to start teaching them more suspension, and it's just a real natural way of allowing the horse to gain a little bit more suspension. Good girl.
Looks like it keeps her interested as well.
Oh, definitely. Ooh.
So is there any rein which she's better on? Or is she fairly level?
Good girl. She's fairly level, very level for her age.
Do you find that most horses have a preferred rein?
Yes, I do feel like a lot of horses are weaker on the left-hand side, physically in their bodies. And when I teach people, a lot of people think that the horses are stronger in the right rein just because they're weaker on the left-hand side. So I do try and really work on that, but for young horses it's more about straightness anyway. So we don't really work on how much lateral bend we're getting at 4 and 5, it's more how easy and straight they're moving down into the rein. So
That's a little bit like riders as well. Most people have you have a stronger side yourself, don't you? So most riders I think are quite weak on the left.
Absolutely, and when I'm trying to teach the girls or anything, just the core basics of straightness in yourself, straightness in the horse, before we start to add in any of the flexion for the lateral work. I like to feel, especially on the babies, that I can, just trot round, change the rein, have a canter on each rein, and that the horses are really secure down into both my hands, not that they want to curl their bum in, or because otherwise if you allow them to do that and then you go to a lateral movement, I feel you're not going to gain a true connection anyway, and correctness for the horse's way of going. So as well as having the right feeding and the physios and the farrier, and it's also very important that you make sure you work on your basics, especially with young ones, but also with the older ones. It doesn't really matter what level they're at. Good girl.
Super, she looks fantastic.
She's a good girl.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so now this is the rest of the facilities that we've got. So we've got fields to the left here, an indoor school at the bottom of the track, and our fabulous new outdoor from Sports Track Surfaces. We're thrilled with all of the facilities that we have here and super excited to work on them every day.
And do your horses get turnout as well, Amy? That's one thing I was going to ask you.
Yes, they get turnout a lot. The babies go out all the time, so we try and rotate that the different babies go out each night. In the winter we do have limited turnout because we try not to ruin the fields before the summertime. Obviously we don't have mountains and mountains of land, so it is all about field management, but the babies are definitely the ones that we work on for the winter. The older ones that are all really good go in the pens, but in the summer the majority of the horses live out all the time.
Absolutely brilliant, and that's fantastic for the brains as well.
Yeah, and we haven't seen it, but we do also have a sand turnout pen as well. So we don't, you know, the stallions, if it's too icy or if it's too muddy for them to go out and they're going to lose shoes or they're going to do injuries, like we really try and work on that they go in the pen as well each day. So they have some sort of a let loose, so we don't have to sit tight.
Good plan. Tell us about this gorgeous boy.
So this is Integro. He's a 10-year-old stallion owned by Mr. Rolf Herr Capel and bred by Claire Hester, and he is at PSG into 1 level.
So you're going to show us a few of his tricks.
Yeah,
and show
a
us
few
what he can
tricks.
do.
Okay, so as Jenny is now competing at Small Tour, she's just going to show us a few moves that are required in the Prix St George test. So these are her 4 time changes. Yeah. Now she's going to show us her 3 time changes, so that's just a change every 3rd stride. Now she can go, you twos, Jen! So now 2 time changes are only really required when you get to into 1 level and then up to the Grand Prix. So it's the last 3 highest tests that you can possibly do on a dressage horse. Lovely. So this stallion's 10 years old and he's just started to learn to do his 1 time changes. So this is how we would start to train them, just popping 2 1s and then giving them a break and then 2 1s again. And like our younger horses, with the older ones as well, we like to do a little bit of the trot poles just for general strength and giving them a variety in their work.
So I'd just like to say thank you so much to Amy for giving us a tour around the yard. I feel very privileged to work with her and her amazing horses, and I hope you've really enjoyed watching the demo and having a nosy around the yard.
It's my pleasure. You know, I love working with Saracen. I've worked with them for many years now and I really believe in the product and I hope it continues.
Thanks very much. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the thumbs up button and do subscribe to the channel to see a lot more inside the riders' yards.